Hi guys, my name is Jorge and I want to talk about Eddy Bridge. In particular, the web interface for doing the configuration for Eddy Bridge. Eddy Bridge is just that, a bridge for Eddy Voice Remote. Eddy Voice Remote is a software as a service to be able to control your local TV or IR blasters. So once you set up your Raspberry Pi, then you can go to the web page, eddy.local. If you're on the Mac or Windows. For Android users, you need to go and type in IP. Okay, for here, there's a couple things you can do. You can set up the Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and do that. You go to Wi-Fi, pick the Wi-Fi that's yours. Let's say this is mine, and I'm gonna go ahead and type it in. Okay, connect. And this will connect to the Wi-Fi, and then it'll switch over and remove the ad hoc network. So this might take up to a minute to switch over. So once it's connected, you see, the SSID that it's connected to. You can go and link your account. Once it's linked, you see this companion website here, which you can go to. You can link Alexa skills to it, or you can go to Homebridge, which I'll get to in a minute. If you want to configure the Ethernet IP, click on the Ethernet tab. Here you can configure the Ethernet to have a static IP. By default, it is set up for DHCP. If you want to reconfigure the wireless, click on the drop down menu in the wireless here to scan for Wi-Fi. Let's go down the list. Homebridge. If you go to Homebridge help, this will show you the Homebridge logs and also on the bottom the configuration. So you can see here if there's any issues with Homebridge, you can try to find out here outside of Homebridge. I know sometimes there's issues with Homebridge and it might be a configuration issue, it might be something else. And also in this little drop down, you can go ahead and restart Homebridge or reset it back to the original configuration, right? So why would you do that? I don't know, maybe there's an error here, so you can go and copy this configuration, reset it, and then go to it and see what's going on here. Okay, Alexa skill, this just links to the two skills that Eddy Voice Remote supports, which is the home skill and a custom skill. So right now you can see that Eddy Bridge is synced up to Eddy Voice Remote. It's online. You can relink the account, you can restart the client, you can remove the account. So after 30 days, you do need to link your account. Okay, so let's look at some of the advanced features. You can go to logs, and this will show you all the logs that you have done. So if there's an issue with it, let's say this issue with Wi-Fi, you actually want to go here and click on turn on debug to enable that and give you a detailed log of what happened to the Wi-Fi, why couldn't it connect. And you can see all the commands I'm being used and sent, so you can see if they're coming locally through like Siri or they're coming from Alexa. So let's look at the advanced features now. You can reset Eddy Bridge into access point mode. You can restart the HDMI CEC service. Every now and then the service gets hang up or is not as responsive. My experience has been it's probably rare when this happens, but I can see it happening. So I have that here. You can restart the Homebridge here in addition to the Homebridge section. You can restart it here. You can upgrade the firmware. You can turn on and off debug mode, and you can reboot Eddy Bridge. Let's go to the firmware page. And this firmware page, this is designed for you to upgrade whenever you feel like it. There is no auto updates, and the reason behind this is that I want this to work for you guys for as long as possible. And if you don't have to upgrade, then that's great, because you don't have to mess up with anything and things are just going to work. And so So whenever you want to upgrade, you're going to go download the firmware and click on it and upgrade, and it's going to work for the most part. The only thing that will not work is if you installed any binaries, and you can't really install much at all because it's a bespoke operating system, but you can install maybe like binaries for FFmpeg, which I'll get to in a minute. So that's just that, and right here I'll tell you the firmware that you're at. So right now we're in 2020 month 6 and the day 24th. Okay, let's continue on. So if you go back home, you can go to Homebridge, right? Let's go to Homebridge. Actually, it's running. You can see that it's running, and this is the operating system that's running, right? Remember I told you it's a bespoke operating system. It's actually Yocto. And then we're in the branch warrior. Okay, so everything's up to date. Let's look at the plugins, right? We have this Homebridge Eddy plugin, which is not in the npm store. This is integrated with the Eddy Bridge. Now what does that mean? Let me show you real quick, okay? Before that, let me show you I installed FFmpeg, and one thing about FFmpeg is that FFmpeg is installed by default, but there is no AAC and there's no OMX encoding. Why isn't there no encoding? Because those require licensing, and that's why Eddy Bridge ships with no AAC and no OMX encoding. But you can install a binary, and I'll make another video on that, of how to install that binary via script. And one thing that I mentioned is that if you do a firmware upgrade, you need to rerun that script again because of how the mechanics of how it upgrades. That gets really technical. I'm not going to get into that unless you want me to get into the technicalities of how this works. The whole okay, let's look at the Eddy plugin for Homebridge. If you look at this, the code that is included might be a little different, but let's look at what I have now. This says use HDMI status. Great. So this is very crucial because this actually tells Homebridge how to check for the status of this device, this accessory. So that translates to, if you turn on your TV with your remote and then you want to use Siri, Siri actually knows your TV is on. How does it know? If it's a, dumb device. Well, now it knows because you made it smart. You made it smart by including the CAC command to check for that device, or you can even use the IP status, so you can do a ping check. So now it's doing both a HDMI CAC check and a ping status check. That's great. This is a really good feature, otherwise you're not going to know when your TV is on and off. For CAC command here, you see this command, and this command is going to work and it's going to be fast. Why is it going to be fast? Well, I already have a service running on Eddy Bridge, and this service is running in the background waiting for a command. This already initiate the initial handshake for HDMI CAC. So this translates to no waiting for the initial handshake. When you send a CAC command, it's going to be quick because it already made the initial handshake. How does this plugin differ from other plugins that use CAC? Well, the other commands, they send the CLI command to turn on, and that command does an initial handshake and then it sends the command. So that translates to a delay of 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds to connect to the HDMI CAC device for every command. Because this is a service and it's already connected, we're losing that overhead of 3 seconds or 4 seconds. So it should be quicker, and it is quicker. You can try it out and it's pretty quick. One thing to note here, that there's still a delay though, because I am getting the status of that command after the fact. So let's say I turn on the TV, boom. After I turn off the TV, I send this command of on or off. I check, did that command go through? Because there is a standby status or a waiting status, and so it's still waiting. I check again and again for 3 more seconds. Most times I do get a response back, but overall you're not going to notice this delay So for the most part, it's around 1 to 5 seconds response, depending on lots of variables. Okay, let's continue on. So there's other technologies that this supports, and you might be wondering what kind of device this is, what kind of accessory is this? This is a real TV accessory. If you go to accessories, it's right here. Living room TV is an accessory. So what does that mean? Well, on your iOS device like your iPhone, you can use the little remote there to pause, play, volume up, down, change inputs, basic TV accessory commands, which is great. Not your regular on and off switch, but you can also have on and off switches like here. I have two specific switches, pause and play. Maybe saying, but Jorge, there's a remote already that pause and plays. Yes, but the voice command, it's kind of funky right now and doesn't really work. I can't say, hey voice assistant, living room pause, or pause in living room. It doesn't work right now. But if I have a switch that does the same thing, pause living room, play living room, that works with these switches, then it's okay. It's okay by me, you know. So that was kind of it, guys. That was a quick overview about Eddy Bridge and how it integrates with Homebridge. And one thing to note here, you can use Homebridge with no subscription. Homebridge is its own thing, okay guys? You can use it. You just can't use the Homebridge Eddy plugin, right? But you can use this for any other plugin. I just want to mention that they're independent, okay? So thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and if you have any comments about Homebridge or Eddy Voice Remote,